high-end hunting gear. Here's the thing, I just want to figure out, is all this money that I spend on nice clothes, is it worth it? Kuiu, First Lite, Sitka. Those are the big guys. Should I spend all my money there? Should you? This is something that I've been so curious about right from the start, because when I start researching a product, I never search what's the best value for my money. I always search what's the best. And it's not because I want to spend all my money on it, it's because I want to know what everyone says is the best. And when it comes to high-end hunting gear, I get consistent answers. Sitka, Kuiu, First Lite. Why would you spend $350 on a jacket when there are plenty of companies who sell jackets for $100? What's the point? What are you getting? What's the difference between that $100 and that $350? I slobbered a little bit and I apologize. This is more comfortable. I primarily have bought Sitka, and that probably just has to do with how widely they're distributed. You can find it at Cabela's, and then a shop that I like locally, Binks Lodge, shout out to Binks Lodge, carries a ton of Sitka. Kuiu, you've got to order off the website. First Lite, you've got to order off their website. So I'm primarily going to be talking about Sitka. Here's one of the biggest things that I've noticed as far as the difference between those companies. Sitka uses kind of a digital camo pattern. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. It's when the military shifted over, but it's different. And we're going to get into that in a little bit more detail. You've seen the First Lite gear that has like the sticks all over it. Like it almost looks like just kind of big claws randomly put throughout it. When I saw that at first, I was like, what? I don't understand. And then the more I did research, I was like, oh, okay, I can see how that might work. Maybe, I don't know. So let's dig into Sitka and how they developed their pattern a little bit more. So I hate it when people do this, but I'm gonna just read briefly off the website for Sitka so that I can get this stuff right. Are you ready? Pause. I'm editing the footage and I'm realizing this gets a little bit boring. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna overlay the narration over some footage of the model that we hired to model the actual clothing for you. So I wasn't gonna do this till later, but you're welcome. In 2009, Sitka Gear and W.L. Gore and Associates set out to revolutionize hunting camouflage by developing a concealment pattern scientifically based on animal vision. That's the difference right there, animal vision. We didn't know what the end result would be, but we were driven by a blah, 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 blah. We enlisted 3 critical players in this quest. Animal vision expert Jay Neitz, PhD. Sounds impressive. The father of modern digital camouflage. Lieutenant Colonel Tim O'Neill, PhD, U.S. Army retired, and camo guru Hyperstealth Biotechnology Corporation president and CEO Guy Kramer. That's a heck of a list right there. You looking at my wife? You looking at my wife? You're supposed to be looking at the clothes. So we all know the way camouflage is supposed to work. It breaks up the human pattern against the background that it's in. All camo works that way. The difference is Sitka has done research with actual animal vision scientists. Remember that part I was reading when Jocelyn was dancing with the pumpkin with the smoke coming out of it? Yeah, that part. Based on my experience with camouflage, that probably 3% of the reason I buy Sitka is because of the camo. Because at the end of the day, you can't actually still move around in front of a deer. Like if you start moving, the deer's gonna see you and it's going to run away. Now, as soon as they make a camo that I can just like do this in front of, take my money, take all my money. It's gonna be gone. I almost put my knee in a bag of poop that someone left down here. Why can't they just put it in the trash can? Trash can's like right there. So we're having to get a little bit off the beaten path because it's a Sunday and it's super nice and there's 1 million people in my sanctuary. So I said 3%, but I think I want to change that to 10 based on an experience that I had earlier this whitetail season. So I'm up in the stand, I see a doe coming in, and she's followed by a little button buck, and they're in my area for like an hour and a half, and I've decided I'm not going to shoot does until after the rut. So I'm just enjoying watching them, because that's one of the cool things about being in nature, is being able to just enjoy stuff like a random group of deer that don't know you're there, that are interacting the normal way they would interact. At one point, she's 8 yards from my tree, and I've got my camera up and I'm filming her, and I go to adjust the big camera, and she notices the movement, and she looks up, and her eyes start scanning, trying to catch me. I didn't move, I stopped moving, and I don't know if it was because of the Sitka and that elevated 2 pattern that's designed to hit out of the sky, where they look up and all they're just seeing is kind of this blown out, thing going on in the sky, or if it was because I just stopped moving. I'm gonna up it from 3 to 6%. Let's go to 6%. So 6%, the camo pattern that has been researched by those scientists based on how animal vision works, is probably 6% of the reason I'll buy Sitka. Let's go home. Forgot, I'm also wearing these. So yeah, I have a bit of a problem. This is what happens when you have a home studio that's kind of hodgepodge, a little janky. My first elk hunt when I was 13, I was with my dad, and it was a rifle hunt late season. And it was freezing. We were in northwestern Colorado, and we woke up the next morning. Basically, there was no snow on the ground. Then we woke up the next day, and there was a foot of snow on the ground. So one of those type of typical Colorado days. We laid up on a knob and watched a couple hundred head of elk just pour into this valley as my dad was walking back down to the Scout to go get me another pair of socks, because my feet were so freezing that I was just completely miserable. The lead cow made it basically over to a certain point, looked down, saw Dad walking to the truck, and then turned around, sounded the alarm, and off they all ran. And it was really cool to watch them flood into this valley. It took minutes, and then it was really terrible to watch them flood back out of the valley. So I think that's kind of where I got this intense passion for really good gear. So let's run through the downsides real quick. There's no doubt that it is not really calculable. I don't know. You understand the word I'm trying to use. You can't calculate if the camo is effective or not. You know what I'm saying? I can be in a tree one day, like the story that I told where I was thinking that the doe was magically, not seeing me because I'd paid the money and I'd bought the stuff that had been researched and developed specifically for this reason. Or was she just one of those deer that's just really blind? Just normal people, she's just looking up I can't see anything. I don't know, maybe it was that. It's designed so that you layer it. It's not going to work the right way. If you just go buy a bunch of the outer pieces, you're going to have to put inner pieces with it to actually get it to work. You can't just go buy the Strata system and expect to get down to, 10 degrees with an undershirt and then the Strata system. Although I think the incinerator probably would do it. If you just put the incinerator bibs and jacket on, I think you could probably go ridiculously low, -20. But I digress. So if you're having to layer, that means more money, because you're obviously spending more money on a merino wool base layer, a mid layer, a down insulation layer that then goes underneath your silent, exterior, so you're not making a bunch of noise as you're moving. I guess I'm kind of making it worse because it just gets that much more expensive because you're having to layer. So I guess it actually gets more expensive if you do it the way you're supposed to do it. Some of their bags lack ingenuity. Like, I bought that Apex pack, and it's basically just like a backpack. Look, it's fine, it's a nice backpack, but it's probably not worth the money. And then when I looked at their bigger stuff, I looked at the big 60-liter bag, and I was like, this is not that great. Like, it seems kind of like old tech. I mean, watch my video on why I went with the Kuiu Icon Pro 5200, and you'll know why I didn't go with the Sitka. The Bino harness that I bought is kind of janky. It's got kind of a dual handle here that zips down in the front. I would show it to you, but I thought I had that in the pile, but I don't. It's actually in my truck because I've been leaving it in there to go, hunt whitetail. The rain gear is kind of bulky. Like, I have the downpour jacket, and I didn't buy the pants because when I got it, I would stuff it in my pack, and I was like, man, this is really bulky. So I was hoping for something that could kind of crunch down into something smaller, but I'm wondering if actually the next time I'm out, I should just wear that instead of something else, because I think that it'll function all day, but I don't know. I'm gonna experiment. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. I should probably do a little bit more research before I even say that it's bulky. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Their hats seem to fit weird. And I know that's a strange thing to say, but literally I've bought 4 or 5 different Sitka hats and they all fit weird. Oh, this is a lot. I'm still editing and this is getting a little slow. So I know what you need. I need it too. So I wanted to kind of test the durability of the pants because I love the pants. Man, if I had to buy one thing, it would be these pants that I have on right here. These. Got this like nice custom spot for your knife with the rubberized over the cloth so you don't mess it up. But kind of to test the durability, I took a pair caving, and I don't mean like caving like spelunking, I legit like crawling across rocks, wearing a harness and ascending rope and rappelling and all this kind of stuff. And they were fine. Didn't cut them, didn't rip them. I mean, I wasn't trying to cut them or rip them, but I was super impressed with how stretchy they are, how breathable and how comfortable they are, and how durable they are. Super comfortable. You can wear them every single day. You could go to work in them if your work allows. And then also you could hunt in them. I mean, they're just great pants, totally worth the money. Some of the other stuff, it seems a little expensive, but you kind of buy it because you got all the other stuff that goes with it. But these pants, can't say enough about the pants. Did I tell you that the pants are awesome? Pants, 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 pants. So overall, how much better is Sitka compared to just basically everything else that's in the market other than Kuiu or First Lite? Because I'll put those guys all three in kind of the same category. I'd say it's 20% better. It's just a little more thought out. Okay, sometimes it's a lot more thought out. The cuts are a little bit better. The quality of the product is just that much higher. So I'm gonna say overall, it's 20% better. But here's the thing. When Sitka came along in 2005, it was a game changer. The amount of R&D that they have done literally transformed this industry. The system that you put together, the layering system, it's been easy for other clothing companies to come out and say, oh yeah, you're right, merino wool is a great idea. Let's do merino wool as the base layer. Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And I know that there's been people throughout history that have worn this stuff. I think nobody has put the puzzle pieces together as well as Sitka has. Ultra quiet exterior construction, so movements in the stand are silent. Pieces with Gore-Tex are waterproof and windproof. reinforced zippers, stitching with end stops so the seams don't pull apart, form-fitting hoods that hug your head and face so they don't create blind spots when moving, ultra-soft built-in face masks in specific pieces that tuck into the hood when you're not using it, pockets in all the right places and none of the wrong ones. Combining layers that wick water away from the body is antimicrobial, breathable, stain-resistant, flexible, and durable. And whoever texted me is an asshole. What are we doing?
I don't know.
What we're doing right now is testing the waterproof ability of the downpour jacket with a prettier human than myself. Are you getting wet?
Yeah, it's a weird sensation because I'm warm, but I'm dry. It's like I'm being peed on, but I'm not getting wet.
So you think that your body is staying dry right now, though?
Oh yeah, my body's definitely dry.
Oh yeah, good job, Sitka. Good job. I'm proud of you. Hilarious. It's amazing. Far. You can tell this isn't a sponsored video because I'm wearing a Kuiu merino wool underlayer as a main shirt today and my Kuiu bag. It's cool stuff. Let's say you spend $1,000 on a setup like that. I get it, $1,000 is expensive. It should last you for 10 years. Like if you treat the stuff correctly and you're not leaving it outside, you're not just stuffing it in a moldy bag and tossing it in your shed, it's gonna last you for a decade. So you're spending $100 a year. That's pretty reasonable to be comfortable in the woods. If you're a duck hunter, they've got something specific for birds. Elk hunter, they've got something specific for elk. If you're a whitetail hunter, they've got something specific for whitetail. I'm not sure what the timber marsh pattern is for. Fishing? If budget is an issue, buy the mid layers, like the core layers, in a non-camo pattern so that you can actually wear them when you go out. Like, they look super nice, really classy. I would wear mine out. It's almost like a polo shirt where it zips straight up and kind of covers your neck. Any place that you would wear a normal, casual style business shirt. You can also get the merino underlayers in basic flat colors. I practically live in those things. I hike in them all the time when I'm out by myself. Almost every video that you guys see me make, I'm probably wearing one of those. And it's not because I'm putting it on special for this, it's because that's what I wore that day. I think the bottom line is, if you can afford to build the system slowly, even if it takes you a couple of seasons, it's worth it. It just is. If hunting is gonna be something that's a part of your life, having good gear is so enjoyable. And it is so important to your comfort and your desire to actually get in the woods and stay in the woods. When I wake up tomorrow and it's 18 degrees out, it's been raining and snowing and sleeting and disgusting all night, that's what's happening right now. I'm still gonna get up at 5 a.m. and go sit in the stand because I know when my butt hits the seat, it's not gonna get wet and it's not gonna get cold. I'm gonna stay dry, I'm gonna stay warm, I'm gonna be comfortable to sit in that stand for hours, whereas guys that are sitting in a Carhartt suit, moving around, making some noise, are gonna get cold, they're gonna go in, they're gonna eat breakfast, they're gonna jump back in bed, and I'm gonna stay in the stand and I'm gonna kill me a buck. So I know this video hasn't been the most scientific review, and I'll probably do another video where I actually show how I layer up and specifically what I do, but I hope it was a fun video that you enjoyed watching and some of the visual aspects, me throwing Jocelyn in there in a few different ways. We had a blast making it. For me, that's so much what this is about, just doing something that I'm having a lot of fun doing, learning and then bringing good information to you guys. So I'm not lying. Sitka's good stuff, man. Go get some Sitka. Like, if you're looking for gear, go do it. You're not gonna be disappointed. I haven't regretted one piece that I've bought. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want more information. I've got a ton of videos in my head. I just can't get them done and edited quickly enough. So I've got a ton of stuff coming in the future. I'm Brandon McDonald. Thank you guys for watching.